The night the world as she knew it ended, Dinah Newman stood at the stove of her Toluca Lake kitchen and stared down at the charred remains of pork chops. She had been doing fine until attempting the pineapple soy sauce glaze. It had somehow caught fire, leaving the bottom of the pan black and sticky like a catastrophic oil spill. Like the one from last January in which 3.5 million gallons flooded the Mississippi River and all the ducks had to be rescued and cleaned. Dinah removed the skillet from the stovetop, carried it to the trash can, and dumped all of it, pan and contents, in. She was a terrible cook. Usually Flora Clausen, their longtime housekeeper, made dinner, but tonight Dinah had wanted to do it herself. It was a surprise for her husband, Del. The kitchen was lined with shelves of cookbooks, most of them gifts from Del and their sons or well-meaning fans who assumed Dinah would enjoy reading about the origin of ham loaves, or what to serve with creamed eggs, or how to congeal a gelatin corned beef without losing its shape. After all, it was incomprehensible that the most famous cook in America, the spokeswoman for Hot Point appliances and Pyrex kitchenware, couldn't feed her family. Tonight, though, she had wanted to show her husband she was making an effort. Not with dinner, but with them. Unfortunately, carbonized sweet-sour pork was not going to save her marriage. She would have to come up with something else. A sound from outside distracted her. The low mosquito buzz of a lawnmower. She stared at the trash can, the ruined pan, and then she tore off her apron and went upstairs. From her open bedroom window, she watched the neighbor mow his lawn. She could just see him over the wall that surrounded their house. Ted or Tad, she couldn't remember because he was no one she would ever be attracted to in real life. But here, in the Los Angeles suburbs, where she had somehow ended up, she imagined marching over to his house, grabbing him by the collar of his polo shirt, pulling him down onto that freshly mown lawn, and riding him like, well, a lawnmower. Never mind that he had no business mowing the lawn at dusk. For the past week, ever since her 42nd birthday, Dinah had spent each evening standing in this same spot, smoking a clandestine cigarette, watching this same man perform yard work and chores, envisioning the same torrid affair. She would never do it, of course. She'd never had sex in a public place, not unless you counted the back seat of Del's car when they were young and unable to keep their hands off each other, back before the boys came along. Besides, she was married to the only man she'd ever loved, a man she still loved, for better or worse, 23 years in. Yet here she was. And there he was, Ted or Tad. As she imagined joining him on his half-mown lawn, handing him a cool drink, wiping his sweating brow with her hand, rolling across the grass in his arms, their middle-aged joints popping and cracking, all she could think was, this single act could blow up everything. She could see it. The look of surprise on his face, followed by the look of pure, animalistic pleasure, followed by a grainy, blurred photo of the two of them splashed across the front pages of newspapers and gossip rags, taken by a particularly stealthy member of the paparazzi. Tongues wagging across the country, everyone up in arms over the scandal. Del and the boys in disbelief, everyone in disbelief. Not Dinah Newman. She marveled at the idea. Honestly, it thrilled her. How one move in a different direction, left instead of right, back instead of forward, no instead of yes, could change a life forever. And then, because the Dinah Newman of today, star of one of the most famous TV shows in America, had more than she'd ever imagined back when she was a kid with skinned knees and a Texas-size imagination, and because the idea of blowing up her entire world was shocking and hilarious, she laughed. There was no one to see her, and so she tossed her head back and cackled. This, her father would have said, was the shepherd in her, the genes passed down from her mama's side of the family that were responsible for any hint of emotional or mental instability in Dinah. Your mother's people, her father had told her ominously on more than one occasion, are prone to hysteria.